Hello everyone! If you don't already know me, I am Ryan and I'll be helping you grasp mathematics much better in this episode of Math Made Easy. We'll discuss about the standard normal distribution in today's episode. Standard normal distribution is one of the forms of normal distribution. It occurs when a normal random variable has a mean equal to 0 and a standard deviation equal to 1. There are properties of a normal distribution model that is needed to be considered first. Number 1 is that it is symmetrical, which means that the two sides of the bell-shaped mirror are mirror images of each other. Second is that its total area is equal to 100% or 1, with each side having 50% or 0.5. And lastly, the mean, the median, and the mode are equal. They lie directly in the middle of the distribution. And now for the z-score. The z-score, also referred to as a standard score, is the random element of a standard normal distribution. When measured in terms of standard deviation units, a raw's classification in relation to its distance from the mean is indicated by a z-score. The following formula can be used to convert each normal random variable x into a z-score. That is z equal to x minus mu over sigma. In where x represents the normal random variable, the mu represents the mean of x, and the sigma represents the standard deviation. After calculating for the z-score, we need the standard normal distribution table to help us find the cumulative probability linked with our particular z-score. The rows of the table represent the whole number and 10th place of the z-score, while the columns of the table represent the 100th place. So say that we got the z-score of 1.25. We need to find the two values from the row and the column that sums up to 1.25, and looking at the table, that will be 1.2 from the column and 0.05 from the row. Together, these values intersect at the probability of 0.3944. Before we move on to our worded problems, I prepared some examples to help you familiarize yourself with our topic.
So for our first example, we need to find the probability of z that is less than 1.17. Before anything else, let us conceptualize and mark where the 1.17 is in our distribution model. So here is the 1, and maybe we could say that the 1.17 is here. So let's mark that. That will be the 1.17. Now, we need to find the value of 1.17. So we need to look at our distribution table. So to do that, we need to find the two values that sum up to 1.17. So that will be 1.1 and 0.07, that is equal to 1.17. Now we just need to find the value in where these two values intersect. So that will be 0.3790. So now that we have the value of 1.17, we still need to add a 0.5. So, bakit po 0.5? So, remember kanina sa properties ng distribution model natin, ang distribution natin ay equal sa 1 at nahahati siya sa gitna. So, that means, ang dalawang side na to ay nahahati sa 0.5. So, since nakuha na natin yung value natin dito sa 1.17 na 0.3790, kailangan nating i-add yung 0.5 since hinahanap sa atin yung less than. And yung less than ng 1.17, ito lahat yan. Starting from the 1.16 hanggang dito, that is less than 1.17 already. So, kailangan natin siyang i-add sa ating probability. Ang magiging total niya ay 0.8790 or 87.90%. So, this is now our answer. So, for our second example, we need to find the probability of z that is greater than negative 2.21. Already marked where the negative 2.21 is in our distribution model. So, dito lang siya, just halfway in sa negative 3. So gaya nga ng binanggit ko kanina, ang distribution model natin ay symmetrical at mirrored. Kaya it doesn't matter kung magiging negative man, ang hahanapin mo lang rin naman ay yung positive na 2.21 dahil although magkaiba ng sign, same values pa rin naman sila. So, ang dalawang values na nag-intersect ka sa negative 2.21 ay yung 2.2 at yung 0.01. So, kung makikita natin kung saan nag-intersect ang 2.2 at 0.01, ito ay tatama sa 0.4864. This side ang hinahanap natin dahil greater than, that means lahat ng values na ito ay mas malaki sa 2.21. So, isi-shade natin siya dahil ayun yung kailangan natin hanapin. At mag-a-add tayo ng 0.5. Ulitin ko yung sinabi ko kanina, ito ay symmetrical, ito ay 0.5, at ito naman ay 0.864. So, ang magiging total niya ay 0.9864 or 98.64%. So, ito ang sagot natin. So, for our third example naman, we need to find the probability that is between 0.6 and 2.15. So, before anything else, let us mark it first. So, we can say that the 0.6 is here. It's just before the 1. So, 0.6. And 2.15, maybe we could put it here. Yan. So, 2.15. So, that means ito lang yung area na hahanapin natin. So, let us now find the corresponding value of 0.6 and 2.15. So, para sa 0.6, ang value niya ay 0.2257. While sa 2.15 naman, it will intersect at 0.4842. So, ang area na hinahanap natin ay nasa right side lang. Remember, yung sinabi ko kanina, ito ay symmetrical at ang per side ay may value na 0.5 at ito din ay 0.5. So, that means we have to subtract these two values in order to find the value of this area lang. So, let us subtract them. So, 0.4842 minus 0.2257. Ang kakalabasan is 0.2585. That means, ang area na hinahanap lang natin ay 0.2585. Yan. So, ito na yung sagot natin.
And now, it's time to put all that we have learned to use and use it in our activities. You are welcome to pause this video or take a screenshot in order to complete our activity within the time frame that is comfortable for you. Additionally, you may always go back in the video if you are unclear about something. Oh, finished? Let's go ahead and check it then.
So for our first activity, Andy gathered a total vote of 575 on the student council elections. The mean of the votes was 450 with a standard deviation of 50. Find the probability of candidates that had a higher vote than Andy. So let us first start with our given. So we let x become our random variable, that is 575, while the mean is 450, while our standard deviation is equal to 50. So the problem asked us to find the probability of C that is greater than 575. So we need to use the formula that is provided in our discussion, that is x minus mean over the standard deviation. Substitute lang natin yung values that will become 575 minus 450 over 50. So, pwede nyo na yung ilagay sa calculator nyo as is na yung ganyan, but do not forget the parentheses. So, ang lalabas sa ating calculator ay 2.5. Bale, ang hahanapin na natin ay ang value ng 2.5. So, that will be the probability of Z that is greater than 2.5. Kung titingin tayo sa ating distribution table, ang value ng 2.5 ay 0.4 0.4938. So, ito na yung sagot natin, but to finalize our answer, the probability of candidates that has a higher score than Andy is 0.4938 or 49.38%. So, ayan din yung sagot natin. For our second activity naman, the amount of time between battery charges of Elon's electric cars has a mean of 20 hours and a standard deviation of 5 hours. Determine the probability that the time period will be between 20 and 30 hours. Let us first start with the given. So, for the variables, we were given 2. So, that will be 20 hours and 30 hours. Well, for the mean, we have 20 hours and the standard deviation of 5 hours. We're tasked to find the probability of z that is between 20 and 30. So, let us first get the z-scores of the two value. Let us first solve the z-score of the 20 hours. So, let us substitute. That will be 20 minus 20 over 5. 20 minus 20, that will be 0, and i-divide natin sa 5 is 0 pa din. For the 30 hours, let us substitute. Will be z is equal to 30 minus 20 over 5. So, 20 minus 30, that will be 10, and divided by 5, we will have 2. That we have the two values, we can properly substitute our probability of z between 0 and 2. Yan. Looking at our distribution table, this will be 0 pa rin, and the 2 will be 0.4772. So, since 0 naman yung isang value natin, we can accept this already as our answer. So, our answer will be 0.4772, or if you want percentage, we will have 47.72%. This is now our answers. So for our third problem, on the highway, the speeds of the vehicles have a mean of 70 km per hour and a standard deviation of 20 km per hour. What is the probability that the car chosen at random is traveling at a speed between 80 km per hour and 100 km per hour? So our given, we have two values, that is 80 and 100. Well, for the mean, we have 70, and for the standard deviation, we have 20. So we were tasked to find the probability that x is in between 80 and 100. To start, we need to find the z-score of our two values, that is 80 and 100. So starting with the 80, we will have to compute 80 minus 70 over 20. So 80 minus 70, that will be 10, divided by 20, we will have 0.5. So for our first value, and for our second value, 100, that is z equal to 100 minus 70 over 20. So 100 minus 70, we will have 30, and divide that by 20, we will have 1.5. So now we got our two values, we can substitute. So the probability that x is between 0.5 and 1.5. So now we should find the values of 0.5 and 1.5 in our distribution table. So that will be, for the 0.5, we will have 1915. And for the 1.5, we will have 0.4332. So since sa parehas na area tayo kumukuha ng value, kailangan natin silang i-minus. So, kung i-minus natin sila, will be 0.4332 minus 0.1915. We will get the probability of 0.2417, or pwede din namang 24.17%. So, the probability that the chosen car drives between 80 km per hour and 100 km per hour is 0.2417 or 24.17%.
How was your score? Great if you got it correctly, but if you didn't, don't panic because you can always review your answers to determine where you could have went wrong. And for the last time, I want to congratulate you for reaching the end of our discussion. I am very grateful for your time and that you chose to learn with me. Now, I leave you with a quote saying, life is a math equation. In order to gain the most, you have to know how to convert negatives into positives. To expand, I want to say that everything in life has a silver lining, but you just need to find it. To find that little crack of hope and have the strength to find all good things in the world amidst all the chaos and confusion, and make the most out of this equation we call life. That's all, and thank you.